CoStar, you'll see the same thing. So in terms of public notification, the real estate community, the development community, architects, engineers, land speculators, all subscribe to that database and can see them there.
So the answer is CPIX and the other one, CoStar.
cpix.net and CoStar.com.
And originally, again, talking, we were moving forward with the idea that we would only, I think some of the communication we received from Mike Gonzalez is understanding that we would only be able to take in the amount of tax revenue that we've lost, and kind of going through that. And having Scott Lakes review the law and the way it reads out when we take possession of this, I think we would have to wait through past December before that kind of weighs, and then that's still questionable whether it falls within that category or not, or whether we have to always transfer, split the revenue, prorate the revenue out between the taxing entities. So, so at that point in time, when we recognized that, it was, let's get as much as we can for the building at this point. So, the $400,000 bid basically came back, and when we sat down with them, they basically had said, this is as high as we can go. We were there at the auction. Other people bid on it, and then they did go through it. So they didn't go through with the purchase. They could have done it at the auction point for probably somewhere in the 6 range, and they never did. So.
Eureka Road Investors LLC, this is the company we're selling it to. It's not also limited to just this property. Do we know who the principals are, or have we qualified them that they're capable of buying this property?
This particular developer is associated with Murray Fleckel and Provisions. So I don't know who he passes as a link and who's the signer on the bottom.
He's known somewhat, and certainly in the development community as an investor representative, and I mean this sale is all cash too. So.
Okay, thank you.
Madam Chair?
Yes.
So Murray's back in the mix. Okay. And our experience as a group with Murray has been less than pleasant, I would say.
I think we've approved a couple of deals recently that neither have happened.
That's pretty much what I was indicating.
Was that his fault?
I think we're only talking about one, right?
Yeah.
We approved it twice.
The state is back out.
Oh,
The state had to lease it from it.
State went into the RFP, and they went with the developer. Actually, they went with the developer's offer that one of the 2 options that we approved.
Sure.
They went with the second option, that site that they were proposing in Inkster, a brand new build. So that's what the state was.
But didn't we have the old Don Lee building plus the $200,000 piece of property on Telegraph Road? That's 2 pieces.
Of the old white automation. Yeah.
For
Did he buy that too?
Murray?
Who bought it?
We talked about that with the Boji Group. They were the ones that were talking about the Telegraph immersion property. Let's say we're talking the same one.
Yeah.
Yeah, they were talking about that one, but they never proposed. They never made a proposal based on that one. They just went with the FIA, and then they went with the proposal on the Inkster site that the state ended up taking from what I understand.
Okay, do we have an independent appraisal on this property?
No, we do have through our attorney's office a broker opinion of value that was used kind of as a guide, but it's not an appraisal, no.
Who was the opinion from?
I don't have that right in front of me. I want to say CBRE, right, John?
That sounds like that was something Scott.
That is Scott.
I don't have it.
Yeah, I don't have that right in front of me. CBRE.
Again, the 5,000.
Could we get a copy of that? I'm sorry.
Sure.
Anything else?
Yeah. It says that time is of the essence, yet we were talking about 90 days. I don't see where the essence of the time comes in when talking 21 days here, 10 days there, 90 days more, building. And I was also told by a person who had contact with a real estate realtor of some sort that this building was non-rentable because it was in not such good shape. Have you been in the building?
I've been in the building. Yeah, it looked fairly clean to me. I mean, it needs some HVAC amendments depending on how you're gonna reconfigure it. The carpeting will have to go. But otherwise, it was in good condition. I didn't see water coming in, no signs of animal life, and except for flashing, the marquee and the parking, it's pretty clean.
Is there a plot map, a plat map that shows what exactly those 5 acres consist of?
Oh, I'm sure.
Can you get that to
Oh,
me
sure.
tomorrow or by tomorrow?
Sure.
The GIS, you'd be able to see that on the GIS too, on the
Sure.
internet.
Yeah, it's also, I think in this packet agreement too, I saw a highlighted portion of the plat of the development and then something highlighting this particular site.
Well, understand again,
It's,
this afternoon.
got it, okay.
I don't understand that comment. I'm not
I don't
sure.
understand it
You
either.
understand this afternoon?
I don't understand
Yeah,
why
it was
you would be
available
okay
Friday,
This afternoon.
What time was it available on Friday?
about maybe, I'm not sure the exact time.
Maybe
around-
after 5 o'clock?
It's on the agenda, it's always at that time. I emailed everybody and it's done.
You
every Friday.
emailed me Monday morning, or Sunday morning, indicating that the agenda was available. And as I told you previously, I am still restricted from that site.
Did you tell Mr.
I
Patel?
did indeed,
What'd he say?
and give me an answer that made it work.
You and I are gonna go in there, and
We're
I
all
bet you
gonna go
I
in there
can
with
pull it
you.
up on your computer.
I bet you can't.
I bet a dollar.
I'm talking about
I
my
bet you a
computer.
dollar, let's go in your office.
I said,
At home.
I got a dollar right
At
here,
home?
John.
Not any
John?
point,
At home.
they have this
Yeah.
information a
Call me,
lot
I'll
earlier,
tell
they
you
can get
the
it out
sign and
faster.
you'll get right in there.
well,
They get,
again,
people have to
that's
turn it in
the
earlier than they
genesis of
used
my,
to,
of my
and
comment.
we always had it by Friday.
Goes down to you this weekend, and
Yeah, no, I could get into my office,
you can get on your office computer either.
yeah, I get on my office computer, but I can't get into I don't even know where the printer is.
The printer's in,
Not-
there's
not
one
to
right
dis-
here, and there's one in the planning department, I think that you can print to. That was my understanding.
I print to the planning department or the building department.
Okay,
Yeah, it's probably the
But-
building department.
okay.
You can't get in from your office, cause I can help you get in at
I usually print to that one.
If that's the one you can't get to.
No,
Madam Chair, we have a question.
Not to
Uh,
dispute,
Mr.
I'll help
Stapleton?
you with that, John. We'll get you
not to
in.
dispute what you said, but I had someone tell me just recently, they had been looking at that building as, like for bingo, to put it in there, and they said that there was a lot of water in there, which would have led me to believe that probably a roof problem.
Not when I walked in there. It was, I mean, it's a vacant building. It's been vacant for a while. There's dust that needs to be swept out, but I didn't see anything that looked like a huge problem. I'm not a building inspector, but I walked all the way through it, walked to the back, walked back to the bus work. That's the first thing, because often if somebody gets inside of it, they kept the power, they'll take the copper, but that was all there. The back doors were secured.
The building is being sold as is.
It's, oh yeah.
Totally as is.
Yeah, there's no warranties. It's as is. And, the flashing, the marquee, parking lot's gotta get resealed. And any retailer's gonna want that done. They won't, the developer's responsibility is to deliver a building that's usable. And it's gonna need some upgrades. It's not a tear down, it's not a complete gutting, but it's a cleanup, some patchwork.
But isn't that some type of an association there where they all, isn't the parking lot like a joint?
In terms of the parking calculations, or common area maintenance, off the top of my head, I don't know.
Okay, I thought that's an agreement in there.
All that was built at the same time. I just always assumed it was one company that owned it. So I'm surprised to hear that the city now has access to one, or ownership of the one.
Just that one building foreclosed, went auction, went through the entire process to Wayne County. The private sector had an opportunity to bid on it. Somebody apparently did bid on it. The deal fell through, they lost their deposit. The county gave us the opportunity to pick it up. We did. We marketed it. 2 offers have come in, and the highest one's presented before you. But
And-
no
and-
contingencies in terms of close in regards to getting any of the deed restrictions lifted. And so I guess we felt that the property had been through a public bidding process. Nothing happened. One particular developer had interest in it at the county level, but never bid on it, and kind of just tracked it and followed it through the process. Made us an offer, $400K, but somebody else topped it, and you have the top offer.
So is this, how much of this is, are we dispersing some of this? You were saying some of this is county?
38% will be retained by the city,
Okay.
and the
And-
remainder gets reimbursed to other taxing jurisdictions.
Rick's
Okay,
worked some numbers
and
for
some-
you too, that's, I mean, again, these are just
These are really
Rough.
preliminary.
rough working numbers, because we would be able to add in their legal expenses, which, 3 or 4 months from now, we might do both those.
Okay,
Um,
and,
I think the council should be assured that
That's
anybody
probably quicker.
anybody who comes now to occupy that space will have to go through a reoccupancy permit, where the building department, the various disciplines, plumbing, electrical, HVAC, anything that deals with ingress, egress, fire department review for flow, monitoring, and what have you will be looked at. So this is not an occupancy permit, this is just a purchase permit.